Yorkshire, led by Phil Jakes and Gary Ballance, produced a stunning victory, chasing down 400 to defeat Gloucestershire by 4 wickets in Bristol to go to the top of the LV County Championship Second Division table. There had been some scratching of heads when Yorkshire had agreed on the previous day to chase down 400 in a minimum of 111 overs. They went into the final day on 30 for 1, needing a further 370 runs in 96, and they looked to Jakes and Adam Lyth to lay a solid platform. A very big moment came early on when Jakes, on 14 at the time, edged Ian Saxelby, only to be dropped by Alex Gidman. While that would have been disappointing, Gloucestershire wouldn't have been overly concerned when Saxelby had Lyth LBW for 36 at 62 for 2. Jakes then just started to get the better of Saxelby, cutting the ball powerfully as Yorkshire made steady progress in the morning. Having said that, there would have been few enjoying the sunshine in Bristol who would have expected him and his teammates to even get close to such a big target. Jakes had other ideas in his mind and he went to his 50 after just over an hour's play. He was certainly favouring the cut shots for his boundaries. Andrew Gale kept the ball ticking along at the other end, slapping an Ed Young full bunger over the ropes. But he was out in the same over. Going for another big hit, he got his feet in a bit of a muddle and spooned a catch to Graham McCarter to go for 21 at 117 for 3. No side had ever chased 400 at this ground, and Yorkshire had only reached a score bigger than that once before to win a game, and so, even with Jakes beginning to look really good, the likelihood of the visitors winning from here still appeared to be remote. It perhaps wasn't the best that Jakes has ever played. He had 1 or 2 moments of fortune after all. With Gale gone, he'd been joined by Ballance, a player who's made some very decent contributions for his county in the last couple of years without ever getting people talking about him. That may well change after this innings. But Gloucestershire's bigger concern at this stage was Jakes, who was by now really starting to dominate this young Gloucestershire attack in a typical Australian style. He reached his wonderful 100 50 minutes into the afternoon session. It was his 9th for the county and had come at a good enough rate off 160 balls. He'd struck 13 fours in that, and Gloucestershire badly needed to see the back of him. It is fair to say that the home side did not produce their best with the ball. Perhaps they imagined that the wickets would inevitably come in time, but that's to take nothing away from this pair, who'd now taken their partnership into 3 figures, and Ballance had reached his own half-century in a very calm and collected manner. He did that many times in Yorkshire's relegation summer too. The two had seen off the danger of the pacemen, and Jakes was now tucking into the spin of Young and Kane Williamson. As the target was brought down to fewer than 150, Yorkshire now really believed that this job could be done. Not much went Gloucestershire's way. This will go down as a court and bowl chance, but Will Gidman was probably thinking more about keeping his head on his shoulders. Jakes got away with that and soon went to his 150. It was beginning to look as if he would go all the way and lead his side to a very famous victory in the West Country. Often sides chasing huge totals make very good efforts but fall at the last hurdle or two, and that looked on the cards here when Jakes was out for 160 just into the final hour. He batted for just short of 6 hours and shared in a stand with Ballance of 203. Will Gidman got that wicket, and then in his next over he also had Anthony McGrath well held by Chris Dent, reducing Yorkshire to 328 for 5. Gidman then nearly had Tim Bresnan next ball, the ball falling short of the slips. And the England man was soon into his stride. This kind of run chase appeared tailor-made for him from here. He punched a number of boundaries to just make Gloucestershire drop their heads again. Briefly, knowing that Yorkshire were going all out for the win, the home side may have thought of claiming a victory for themselves. But now it was all Yorkshire. Bresnan flicked McCarter off his legs, timing the ball so well that it flew for 6. Ballance may not have made too many headlines before, but he was doing so here. A thumping maximum took him to his quite magnificent 100. He hadn't offered a single chance as he got to his ton off 209 balls. He timed his innings to perfection too. Bresnan fell with only 17 needed and plenty of time to get them in. He was bowled by Young for a 38 made off 34 balls. So rightly it was left to the brilliant Balance to finish the game off. And boy, he did it in some style. The second delivery of Young's over was drilled through mid-on for 4. The third was launched over wide long on for a 6 to leave just 4 runs needed. And the fourth went even further, allowing the Zimbabwean to celebrate a remarkable win. He ended on 121 made off 221 balls. The screams of delight could be heard from his teammates' balcony. Balance deserved the plaudits, as do his whole team, for what was a memorable and record-breaking performance. It also gave Yorkshire their second successive victory. They were the only winners in this round of matches, thanks to agreeing to the run chase in the first place. They took 19 points, and that puts them top of the second division table with Derbyshire. Gloucestershire have to take credit for their part too. They claimed 4 points.